So if you are in the packet on page 13, we have gotten to a very challenging part of this packet. Pages 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 are all about half steps and whole steps. Half steps and whole steps are something we can hear. There's something we can see. There's something we can hear when we sing or play music, and there's something we can see if you're looking at a keyboard, or you can also see them on a staff. Like I said, this is challenging, so listen, pause it, go back, listen a couple of times. This is still challenging even to people who have played music for quite a while and know quite a bit about music. So we're going to talk about half steps and whole steps. So a half step on a musical keyboard, a half step is the smallest distance possible between two neighboring notes or two neighboring keys. Each key on the piano has a musical name, one of those A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, our musical alphabet. So if we're going along on the keyboard, and I can show you on my little keyboard here, each note, as you move, this half step is the smallest possible you can move. From this note to that note, you don't skip anything. It's not just white to white. It's always the very next one. That's a half step. That's a half step. That's a half step. Half step. See, it didn't even need a black key. It's a half step. And when you are looking at the keyboard, it can make some sense. So a half step's the smallest one. It doesn't matter. It's always the very next one, either higher or lower. We can also do our half steps lower. Half step, half step, half step, half step, half step, half step, half step. So a half step is the smallest one you can do. A whole step is basically two half steps because two halves make a whole. So a whole step then, a whole step goes, skips whatever key it is, and you can hear the difference. Whole step, half step. So whole step, whole step. Now here, guess what? You have to skip this one. That's a whole step. You can go black key to black key, or you can go back down. And you can hear the difference. Those are half steps and whole steps, always using. Now on a keyboard, it's pretty straightforward. You can really see it, and you can also hear it. So let's see if we can, with our sheet here and the keyboard that I have, let's see if we can figure out page 13. It's going to be a little easier on page 13 because we can see them. All right, here we go. So this is saying from this note to this note. So we've got something in between. So it's this, remember, the smallest is the half step, but a whole step, it takes two of those. So that's a whole step. So we have that sound, we can see that. Seeing this one move, so we have the, I'm gonna school, okay? So we have from here to here, moving from here. So we have that half step. Moving from here to here, there's nothing in between there, so that's our half step. Moving over here from here to here, that is a whole step. Moving from here to here, going to the very next one. And you can hear it, that's a half step. All right, and then you moving from this black key to that black key, that one to that one, you can hear that that's a whole step. Whole steps on the keyboard, pretty easy to hear, pretty easy to see.